One of the things that has been important in my work life has been exploring the way in which people deal with alienation in different contexts. What is it like to find that you are uncomfortable being the person that you are in a particular place which is in some way hostile towards you, or reluctant to accommodate you on the terms that you yourself find important?
I'm sort of wondering who I am. Am I Aboriginal? Am I Scottish, or German, where my grandmother was? I'm from a small town in Queensland in Australia called Tara. It had 1,200 people, my Aboriginal family and another Aboriginal family on the other side of town. I'm just sort of always thinking about where I am in the society, and I've always sort of, growing up, I sort of always didn't want to be a part of it. I didn't socialise much because I didn't want to, and because I couldn't anyway. I wasn't allowed to in that small town. Australia is a very racist place. So, everyone told me I was an abo, that was a racial slur, or other ones, like similar ones. So they're always telling me that growing up. And where you sat on the hierarchy of, where your place was it was different when I moved to Brisbane. It's like 2 million people. So I found a different relationship with people there. Because there's a lot more cultures, and it's not just white male hetero Christians, which is the dominant thing.
One of the things about this project was that you had two communities which in various different respects have found themselves feeling comfortable about the way that they are in various different contexts. I thought that maybe by having some dialogue between the two, they would be able to present a view of themselves that was coherent in ways that they may not be able to do within context close at home.
Sometimes I'm too black for white people, or I'm not black enough for some black people even, or then they question your authenticity. Like, are you really an Aboriginal, or discredit you in ways saying that you get special treatment or from the government. It's sort of a well-known fact that Aboriginal people have a strong connection to the land, and my show is about a landscape, place, identity, belonging to a place, but also not belonging to a place, and a sense of placelessness, where most of sort of the native vegetation, or what was there, has been erased through industrialization, farming, introduction of hard-hoofed animals that would trample the ground and turn it to a desert-like thing. So it's like it's belonging to a place that was there, maybe. Because I have there's a sort of a feeling I have when I go back to that place that there's some kind of dialogue trying to happen, but I no longer have the tools to interpret what it's trying to say, or some kind of archaic residue from my ancestors that would have known how to talk with the land, type thing. But there's also a sense of alienation, disconnectedness, disruption of all that, loss of cultural life, traditional customs and native foods and things like that. So I've represented that dislocation, disruption of connectedness to the land through representing the landscape. Some lyrics from post-punk band that resonated with me, resonated with how I felt growing up in the small town. One piece is going to be clay on the ground that's going to dry quickly and crack, so it's going to resemble the dry, arid landscape of the country, the landscape of where I grew up. Another piece is going to be a long track of clay. I'm going to press a tractor tyre tread into it. So I remember playing and didn't have many toys when I grew up. I was just I remember seeing a tractor tread in the earth and playing in it with the toy cars and stuff like that. I have a memory of finding a white clay pipe in my father's briefcase or something, and it was broken. And I remember asking about it and he wouldn't tell me what it was about. It's got the Royal Antediluvian Order of Buffalo acronym on the pipe. The reason why it was broken was it's a part of an initiation or part of a ritual for new initiates into the club. It also relates to my father having secrets. Is he my biological father? I'm uncertain about that. That's why the clay perfume's called Uncertainty. So I'm going to break it now so it resembles my memory of discovering that clay pipe in my father's briefcase that he would take to his weekly meetings at the Buffalo Lodge.
There were rumours about the presence of some swarthy, mystic, art-obsessed bloke called Archie being here. But I can't see him. I can't see anyone here. This is just an empty bit of scrubland, useless bit of scrubland, ripe to be used for more fertile purposes. So today, we're going to replace this useless piece of land with something for the betterment of humanity, an art gallery. The Australian continent had been engineered by Aboriginal people. When Europeans arrived, they saw just a wilderness and argued that the colonisation of Australia was justified by virtue of the absence of any meaningful human settlement. That's the concept of terra nullius. The consequence was the destruction of the land in places like Tara.